Hey guys, Tyler Tamberlane here with more Obscurities in miniature, and today we are going to take a look at the Nasier, which I haven't looked at in quite some time, but I finally got a hold of some Firehawk Reavers, who are these funky armored Tengu looking dudes with giant heads of hair, and a leader with a big old crazy bulky cloak and tridents of some sort. So the models themselves follow the typical fashion of Wrath of Kings, very kind of comical, cartoony body proportions, but you know, done in a more realistic sculpt style. So nice set. You get 2 of the leaders and 12 of these ashmen, so 2 of each pose. Not bad. So what, 14 figures in a box? And honestly, if you scrounge around long enough, you can find it for under 20 bucks, and that's not a bad deal. It's, you know, $1 something per figure. But enough about the economics of this. Let's take a look at the actual models. Now, I haven't used these guys in Wrath of Kings yet, so I have no idea how they play. Can't help you there. So we have, everybody is on a 30mm base, but the bosses are on 40s due to their magnificent cloaks. You got your cards and your leader cards and a bag full of bags. Why don't I tear that open and let's start looking at some of the individual components. Alright, as I said, you get 14 models in there. And I'm just going to try to grab one of each pose, considering there's so many. But let's start with you. You look like a lucky duck. Stabby stab. My fingernails are too short, sorry. So a basic model consists of, let's find out, because I haven't ever built one of these. You have your harder plastic for the weapon itself, so with a hand molded to it. Body is all one piece, very nice and clean. That's a surprise. Now these guys don't have the little pegs on their feet. A lot of the early Wrath of Kings models tended to have pegs so you can mount them on their bases. The hair and head are all one piece, and they just nice and, well, it's painful, but I'm assuming it would slot in nice and easy if his hair wasn't in the way. Okay, so he's supposed to be looking like that. Off to the side. And then we would just slot the arms in, which we'll do later. I want to find the boss. That's what I really want. Okay, we'll slide him to the side. Because the bosses are the coolest models after all, so let's just take a look at one. Tearing open the package. What is our boss model going to consist of? Ooh, that's worrisome. His plastic thingy on the sprue is snapping apart. Alright, not that it matters. Weapon is nice and in one piece. That's good. Don't need that. His cloak actually seems to consist of 2 parts. It is quite, I mean, that's pretty bulky. But it looks like he's actually going to have his arm and the rest of his body attached to it. Let's see. Surprisingly, his spear looks almost the same. It's actually a little bit more simplistic, and I notice now that this one has one of his little, maybe it doesn't have one, little sprue thing. This has got like 4 prongs. This one only has 3. I don't know. Maybe it's supposed to be like that. We've got a big long headdress and the typical Nasier mask, which they all have, possessed by demons. And that's a really nice clean cast on this, especially considering what we started with Wrath of Kings. I was an original Kickstarter backer, and I found some of the details a little bit mushy, and they definitely improved over time. I don't know where that arm goes. Okay, I'm going to stop screwing around with this stuff, and I'm going to start building some models. What say you, huh? Alright guys, you can see our Ashman Firehawk all built up and precariously balanced on just about anything they could find, including each other. Now, I gotta say, visually these guys are super appealing to me. You don't see models like this with the kind of almost anime-like hair outside of stuff like Relic Knights and, well, Wrath of Kings. They really do have an interesting and unique look, even if they're in a bit more static poses. You do get an awful lot of these guys in the box. Some of them are a little bit more battle ready than others. I really like their presentation and how they look. And I mean, even the artwork, you know, by Edouard Guiton is quite impressive. And hopefully I can pin them up something like that. I really like a lot of the Nasier designs. So you can see a couple of them here. And then the creme de la creme of the Ashman Firehawks, their leader. And he's just a big dude. Now, these aren't actual bases that were included with them. The Wrath of Kings bases are blah. But, you know, they are what they are. So you can see them kind of standing like that. They're big models. They're really impressive, I say. So just grabbing a couple other models, you can get kind of a look at what it is we're talking about here. Let's put a regular Firehawk on the line. Why do they have a Space Marine hanging out there? I don't know. I mean, they just don't want to stand up. They're going to obviously need to be glued to those bases. Okay, there we go. At least one of them's up. All right. I grabbed a couple of the Wrath of Kings figures just so you can get a sense of scale within the line. We got a couple of painted Nasier models. These are, well, there you go. Oh, what are these ladies called again? Darn it, I've forgotten. Here's a regular Ashman. So you can see their counterparts are quite big, especially with the flashy hair. Grabbing a Malifaux figure, you can see here. I think these models, more so even than the regular Ashman, but just about all the Nasier stuff in general, you can get a lot of mileage out of them. I mean, they all have a very unified look between them. You know, they all have obviously some sort of a uniform, and with their masks, if you read the fluff, they're basically supposed to be possessed by demons, and that's what gives them all their power and lets them fight and all that. So they all look pretty unified there, and this guy isn't even an ace here, but, you know, just to get a sense of scale with some of the other models in the line, I grabbed a couple others. Let's see if I can keep you standing for just a little longer, my friend. Come on. Dude. Yeah, good enough. Okay, we got like one of the Technus guys there. One of the bigger girls from the Nasier. Anyway, so they're pretty big models. My favorite one can hang out here. And I think if you really wanted to get creative, they make a great chaos cult. I really feel like, you know, you want to have some evil cultists, these guys would do wonders for you. And their boss especially, I mean, you can make him into some kind of a demon prince or a champion or something. He's just a cool dude, and he's big. And you don't want to stand on your base. It's not even your base. It's some weird base from Malifaux. Whatever. All right, one thing I got to talk about, though, is I had some serious issues with these guys. Now, I didn't put all of them on camera because some of them are upstairs and I'd already started painting them and I'm downstairs and blah, blah, blah. But you can see I had a lot, and I mean a lot, of the shafts of the weapons break. They just were so thin. I also had a really difficult time on quite a few of these guys getting their arms, not their arms, but their hands, I should say, attached to the arm. The hand weapon, the hand with the weapon, they just didn't want to go in. And you can see there's a lot of tension marks on this one, for example, and there were a couple others I had to re-glue upstairs, that just trying to fit the things in, it was very, very frustrating. Their weapons and their hands just did not want to go in, and that was kind of frustrating. So keep that in mind. Despite all that, they are really cool looking models. I'm probably just going to slice this off completely and give them some swords or knives or something. I'm sure I have weapons laying around that might be useful. But considering just how many you get in a box, I think, what was it, like at least 12 or 13? You know, you can do a lot with these kinds of models, and especially if you have other Ashmen or Nasier stuff, or just Wrath of Kings in general. I think you can get a lot of gaming mileage out of these dudes. The biggest challenge, though, is going to be able to find a box of them that people aren't going to gouge you an arm and a leg for, which I've already seen starting to happen with a lot of these second wave, non-kickstarted Wrath of Kings models. It's just like people are like, oh, these are so hard to find, you're going to have to spend a bunch of money. No, please don't. Keep your eyes peeled. I know with Cool Mini's recent sales, you know, they were at reasonable cost. So try not to feed the scalpers too much. Anyway, cool set of models. Very thin weapons to be wary of, but interesting poses and exciting and dynamic looking sculpts. So, that said, I am going to wrap things up here. This is High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying, see you later. We'll be here tomorrow. Bye-bye.